Okay, everybody, we are finally live, a little bit late. I'm so excited to talk about a phenomenal topic. So everybody, come on board and write us your question, because this is a treat for you. As you know, I promised for a while I'll bring back Dr. Darren Weissman, my amazing friend from house, and a man I admire greatly because of his achievement, and he's such a beautiful soul. So you guys, I hope that you are live with me, and I'm looking forward to your comments and to your participation. So as you know, Dr. Darren Weissman is an authority in the field of spirituality, mental health, and well-being. So we're going to talk about his books. We're going to talk about his techniques. We're going to talk about his new webinar. It's actually a free webinar, so I want everybody to participate. So come on board with all your questions. And I've introduced Dr. Darren Weissman many times to you guys, but I would love to introduce him again because he wrote so many amazing books. And he is, as I said, gonna teach us today how to change your beliefs, how to evolve in your mind, evolve your mind to transform your life. Now, Dr. Darren Weissman books are The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, Awaken to the Secret of Your Mind, an amazing book, The Heart of the Matter, that I've read so many times. And he wrote children's books, The Daily Lesson of Love, Gratitude. Now, Dr. Darren was featured in many e-films like Motion, Making Mankind Beyond Belief, The Truth, and the award-winning documentary Heal. He writes for many magazines, and he's with me. So, Dr. Darren, thank you for being part of this live. And I have already people from different parts of the world, from New Jersey to Zurich in Switzerland, from Italy. A lot of European people always jump on board because they find out much more about your work. And I know you're the one who developed this Lifeline Technique, and find out much more about that. And I want to find out, and I'm going to start with some of my questions to you. And I know people will probably jump in with their questions, but my number one question is, because we know that everything happens in the mind, and mind is such a powerful tool that governs all the function of the body. And if we know how to use the mind, we can achieve everything. But I'm going to ask you how you define the power of the mind, and tell us a little bit about the subconscious mind, because people don't really understand exactly the way the subconscious mind functions.
Yeah, totally. This is a great question. And first and foremost, thank you, Carmen, for this incredible opportunity.
I love you.
I love you. To connect with you and to empower people, you know, to really create positive changes and healing changes for their bodies and healing changes for their lives. So many people struggle. And, you know, the reason I'm so passionate about the subconscious mind is because I went through so many struggles in my own emotions and my own physical health. And I needed to find a way, because conventional ways of working wasn't working. And so through my own passion and just commitment to find a natural, safe, effective way, I discovered the power of our mind. And, you know, people know that, or many people are aware that our thoughts create a reality. What we think about in any and every given moment is ultimately what we're creating in our lives. But that's one component of it, though, of life. You know, I'm thinking right now that I'm so happy and grateful to be connected with you. And at the same time, there's a whole other world that lives below our awareness. It's like a submarine is below the surface.
That's exactly it.
Right? Yeah. The subconscious mind also produces thoughts. And what science has shown us is that in any given day, every person has between 12,000 and 50,000 thoughts a day. And what science has come to understand is 80% of those thoughts are negative. That's just the design of the mind. The mind naturally produces these reactive thoughts. It's just a part of the mind. Right. When people don't understand that these thoughts that are being produced that are negative, that these are actually like road signs. They're like road signs. We're driving and I see a stop sign. Stop doesn't mean stop forever. It means stop, look around, and then go. When we have a negative thought, when we have a certain feeling that goes on, there is a way of identifying these thoughts, these patterns, so that we can influence how this is affecting our body's natural ability to heal and regenerate. Every disease, every symptom, every cell in our body is driven by our mind. Our mind is in every cell of our body. And so understanding the nature of this and then having a tool so that people can process their subconscious emotions, not with therapy, and I'm not saying anything against therapy, but it doesn't require therapy to actually process subconscious emotions. There's a system that we can go through that helps people to create change on the deepest levels for our healing in every way.
Right. Well, more than ever, we're talking about mental health, and so many mental disorder from the depression. Is a mental problem. There is a disease of the mind. And with bipolar, passive disorder personality, schizophrenia, more than ever, we talk about a mental problem, and we don't acknowledge that there are patterns of behavior, that are that exist in the brain, and we need to work to break through those patterns of behavior and to implement, like you said, to erase the negative thoughts and implement positive thoughts. So I'm going to ask you how people can do that. How can they break through limited core beliefs? Because it's all kind of belief system that exists within ourselves. Like we used to say, you can never be beyond your beliefs. Whatever you believe, you become. The beliefs translate into your reality, and you produce thoughts based on what you believe on. So how can you break through the pattern of negative beliefs in order to break through those diseases of mind and gain that mental stability and heal yourself, because you are an authority in the field of healing the mind, and you understand better than anybody how the mind is actually healed, and you creating techniques and seminars to help people restore their thoughts, restore their well-being, and balance. So tell us a little bit about how can this be done. Tell us about your amazing techniques.
And the fun part about it is people would be like, how do I change these beliefs that are causing me to live with anxiety and panic that I, have gone through treatment for years. I know all about every trigger. I'm so aware of everything, but I can't make a change in the pattern. It's actually quite simple once you know it. It's actually quite simple.
It's simple when you know it.
I know. It's simple when you know it. But the reality of it, though, Carmen, is people don't have to understand the inner workings of their mind to create a change in their beliefs. They just need to work with somebody that understands how to do it. And there's steps. There's an integrative step of empowering people to create change. And I really feel, ultimately, the nature of healing beliefs is love. Love is the great healer. And that's it's not cliche. Gratitude is the great healer. That's not cliche. When we think love and we think gratitude, that truly creates a change. However, the nature of it is that we get triggered, that we are reactive, and that when we can begin to understand that the reactive thoughts and beliefs that are limiting us and causing us pain physically, emotionally, in our relationships, when we can look at those as a conversation, like you and I are having a conversation, what if you could have the kind of conversation that you and I are having? What if you could have this kind of loving, supportive conversation with your own subconscious mind? And you can.
And you can. Yeah.
And you can. And the nature of it is there's a technology called kinesiology, which is muscle testing. Muscle testing allows us to interpret when the subconscious mind is triggered through reflexes. Yeah, it's amazing. So just like if you get close enough to your eye blinks. That's a protective mechanism, right?
Right.
Well, that reflex of the eyes blinking or the knee-jerk
That's the sympathetic nervous system. You know, the sympathetic nervous system always operates without us being able to control it, while we're parasympathetic, we're able to control. In the sympathetic system, like exactly when we feel danger, the body reacts to danger, you know? Yes.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
And what's so beautiful about it is that that's why I know if somebody truly wants to create change, and I want you to just think about, like, okay, what do I really struggle with? What have I really desire change with, but no matter what I've done,
right,
the pattern continues on.
Yes.
That's the subconscious mind. That's the reactive mind. So when we have muscle testing, we know we're not guessing, because the autonomic nervous system, when it gets activated, we're reactive.
Exactly.
So it's so beautiful is when we can find the reactive patterns. The beauty of it is that we can harmonize these energies, this energy that's stuck in motion, that we can get it in motion. And our emotions that loop, our emotions, what's been found is our emotions become our chemistry. So when we're happy, that's a chemistry.
Right.
When we're sad, when we're angry, when we're overwhelmed, this becomes our physical body. It's called neuropeptides. They're molecules of emotion.
Yes.
Right? So we know that the energy of our body is based upon the emotions that we're feeling in any and every given moment. But what happens is we have these aspects of moments in time that are like frozen in time and space, and they get triggered. They get triggered by our environment, and all of a sudden, here I am, and I'm 53 years of age, and
right.
all of a sudden, a 4-year-old little boy gets triggered in me. But I still look 53, I sound 53, but what's in my body that's showing up as cardiovascular disease or autoimmune disease or inflammation or degenerative process, that is that 4-year young part of me that causes me to what's called maladapt. I'm not present, I'm 4, and when I'm 4, I'm not going to be my fullest potential for healing physically, as well as showing up with my family, showing up in business. When I get triggered in these subconscious levels, it affects us in the deepest ways. And the reality is that no matter what it is that you're going through, when you make a change on a subconscious level, then you can begin the process of healing, period. You can begin the process of
How
healing.
can you tap in the subconscious mind? Because a lot of people don't really understand the mechanism of the mind, and they don't really acknowledge what is the subconscious mind. You know,
all right, I'll
they
give you
know the cognitive mind, the sensory level, they operate on cognition. What about the subconscious mind? How they tap into that, and how they acknowledge that there's something there that needs to be shifted. There's an information there that needs to be deleted.
It's a great question. And I'm going to give you a real simple answer. And everyone, I want you to remember this, right? If this is the last time we meet each other, and I hope it's not. I hope I see you on Saturday on our free webinar. But if this is, I want you to remember this, because this question, which I call the truth question, can truly save your life. And it helps you to understand when your subconscious mind is in a reactive state, when it's being triggered. And so I want you to think about your body. I'm going to lead you into this so that you can understand how to connect with your subconscious mind. I want you to think about your body. I want you to think about, what is it about your body that if you could change, if you could heal right now, oh, you'd be so happy and so grateful that you were on the Facebook Live with Dr. Carmen and I, right? Think about your body. Think about your life. Think about where it is that you find yourself stuck and struggling in the same patterns over and over again. I'm going to ask you a question. If you could choose, this is the truth question. If you could choose to create your life, you could design it, you get to create your masterpiece life. Would you ever choose to create it where your body was struggling with thyroid imbalance, that you had diabetes, that you had autoimmune, that you had inflammatory bowel disease, cancer, would you choose to have a rash on your skin? Would you choose to create your life where you wake up with anxiety in the middle of the night and can't fall back to sleep, that you're plagued with depressive thoughts, that you get triggered into anger really quickly? Would you ever choose that? What's the answer to that?
No, nobody's choosing that. Consciously,
Hell,
you're choosing this.
right. And the beauty of this is, it's a stupid question, but what's beautiful about it is, hell no, I'm not choosing it, but it's going on, right?
Right.
When you're aware, when you're cognitively aware of something that you wouldn't choose, the conscious mind chooses. When you're aware of something that you're not choosing, of course not. You made contact with your subconscious mind.
So when you actually,
fear.
when you build that awareness, you connect the hemispheres of the brain, you know, and you connect the consciousness with that 90% of you that is, you know, the reactive mind, the subconscious mind. So,
and then you can begin. And then you can begin. Just because you make contact with the subconscious mind doesn't mean you're going to transform it yet. So there's a process of working with something that's very reactive, completely reactive. The subconscious mind doesn't choose. It doesn't judge. It only reacts. It affects, it orchestrates the cells of our body. You don't have to tell your stomach and intestines to digest the food that you just ate. You don't need to tell your lungs to take in the oxygen and get rid of the carbon dioxide. Your body is being orchestrated by your subconscious, but your subconscious also stores memories. And those memories, when they get triggered and they're not processed, those fear-based, they're called imprints, they're called conditions. When they get triggered, and they get triggered all the time, all day, every week, throughout our whole life, when they get triggered, our brain and our body, your brain and your body don't know the difference between memory, reality, or imagination. And what's cool, Dr. Carmen, about this is we can take our imagination and use it to create the most magnificent life, to see ourselves healthy and passionate, strong and balanced. And we can take that energy and dive, like, let's put on your scuba gear, put on your mask, put on your flippers, put in your oxygen tank, and take a dive into your subconscious mind. And you can bring your light, your divinity, your love, your gratitude, your compassion into those parts of you and create a change that might, you know, people work decades on themselves and never create a change on a subconscious level, because it's not about understanding. It's literally about making a connection, and there's a process of energetically entraining fear with love. And
so there are of major emotions, or so-called the great emotion: fear, anger, hate, and then there's love. So for everybody, you know, watching us, we need to understand that we need to dig deeper into the source of this emotion, especially the negative emotion. And even fear is necessary sometimes, because it's a protective mechanism. So some emotions are definitely necessary up to a certain extent, but the only healing emotion is the emotion of love. And that's what you are teaching people to understand, that if the body you know, shows a problem, or there's an autoimmune disorder, and they're so common, 150 autoimmune disorders lately, incredible. We live in the world of autoimmune disorder. We live in the world of Prozac. We live in the world of mental problems. The mental health has never been, you know what I mean, such an issue like nowadays. So, but what you are trying to teach people, make realize that when the body signals a disease, a disconnect, a problem in the energy field, and there's something serious going on internally, there is emotion attached. You know, there is something that is released in the bloodstream. There is those chemicals that are released, causing the body to mutate a cell, to create a disconnect, to create an inflammatory process. And inflammation is the source of all diseases at the end of the day. So what people need to understand, how significant your work is, because you have to go deep at the level of their being and find the root of the problem in order to create a healing process. And I know that you have groundbreaking seminar with 3 steps that people should take in order to shift that program of the subconscious mind that kicks in all the time, creating that disconnect. So tell us a little bit about this seminar and all the techniques and the 3 steps that people should take, because I know that you're offering something major, and I think everybody should sign up to this webinar, because there's such amazing information for all of you that are watching us right now. There are people telling me they already enrolled.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And you know what? In the webinar, I'm going to go through something very specific, 3 phases that enable people to create the kind of changes that they really desire. But the wild part about it is when we're in, and it's a trance, when we're in a trance of the subconscious mind, we don't know. We don't know. We're looking through these eyes, and all we can do is see through these eyes. We're feeling through this heart. All we can do is feel through these hearts. And so when our body is in this reactive state, this survival mode, the emotions of fear, of anger, we are hardwired with what's called freeze, fright, fight, or flight.
Right.
So these emotions aren't bad. The fear saves your life, but you don't need to be in freeze, fright, fight, or flight all the time. It's just good to, it turns on and then the system deregulates and it goes off. Right. What ends up happening, which is really significant, is we're energy, and we have all these different power centers in meridians and that interact with our nervous system and our hormones. When our energy field has these, I call them black holes, and it's not just in outer space. We have black holes in our subconscious mind that when they get triggered, take us into this like tide of negativity, of fear, of avoiding, of just reaction. When this gets activated, what happens, and it's so powerful, Carmen, is your heart gets hijacked. And when your heart gets hijacked, and now all of a sudden it's beating with overwhelm, it's beating with helplessness. When your heart gets hijacked by these black holes in your subconscious mind, the heart automatically sends a signal to the brain. Now, once it reaches the brain is going to just react to whatever signal it gets. It doesn't matter if the brain is getting a signal from what's going on right now, what's going on from past situations, or what's going on from the future. The brain's going to react. But what happens is the brain starts to produce this pharmacopoeia. It starts to produce this pharmacy of chemicals based upon the signal from the heart, but the heart's been hijacked. So now the brain is just doing the signal of the hijack, and it's creating these chemicals that course through our bloodstream.
What makes the heart hijack? What will do this to the heart? Give us an example.
Core limiting beliefs that live in our subconscious mind. Core limiting beliefs, which is basically, I'm going to make it real simple, memories that have not yet been fully processed. When a memory has not been fully processed, they become time bombs. And they become emotionally charged. And then all it takes is the color orange, a color blue, a sound, a smell, similar to the memory, then the heart's hijacked. As soon as the heart's hijacked, it goes to the brain produces the chemicals. Now the chemicals of these emotions are coursing to the bloodstream. This is the part I want everyone to understand, because we think we're crazy, and you're not crazy for feeling what you're feeling and going through what you're going through. You're beautiful, you're amazing, you have the ability to heal. But when these chemicals course through your bloodstream and they bind to your cellular receptors, the receptors that they bind to are the same receptors that heroin binds to. Which means the chemicals that the brain produces of hijack, we become addicted to. So we become addicted to anxiety and helplessness and fear and anger. It's subconscious. It's not like anybody would say, oh, it's a great day to be angry. It's a great day to be, no, it's reactive. It's a program. in its thing. But then the cell starts to feel that, function in that way, form new cells in that way. The way that you create a change is on an energetic level subconsciously. And it's wild because I like to dance, but what is it like to dance with an invisible partner, right? I can dance with an invisible partner.
Right.
And this is where the Lifeline Technique has systems and processes that guide you in creating change so that you can get back into the seat of your soul, which is your heart. And you can create loving vibration that influences your brain and body to feel and function in a whole new way. You can manifest and you can transform these intense reactive patterns. And it doesn't matter how intense it is, the diagnosis, how long, as long as you're open to change. If you're open to change, then you can create change. And it's a process. There's no one way for everyone, but there is a way for everyone.
There is a way for everyone. That is so beautifully said. So your webinar is this Saturday, no?
Yeah.
It is a free webinar, so everybody jump on and sign in. How do they sign in, Dr. Darren?
There is a link that I don't know. I just put it right here. Can I send it to you and then put it in? I sent you a link. I don't know if you can put that in. Do you see that?
The link I don't really see.
HTTPS.
We'd love for you guys, because there's so many of you with that right now.
Can you see? Because I sent it to you in a private chat here.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. I know how to do it. How do I send it? I think.
Better than technology.
Oh my God, look at all these beautiful people here from Zurich and Buenos Aires. How beautiful. I'm wondering, I can't comment on here for whatever reason. So I sent you a private chat here. I see Pauline Blenner and Virginia Tooley, Florina Bojan. Oh, how beautiful.
I know people are from everywhere. Pauline makes amazing remarks about
so did Lily.
Emotion suppressing in the cell and replicating,
Yes.
And being passed on to children. And then there's a lot that explains the DNA. And she also makes comments about the need for mental health, the damage lately to the brain by the environment, by trauma, a lot of trauma. And this is, where you come in helping people to heal trauma. If you don't heal trauma, it's what you said, a traumatic experience will be reflected in your future action and will lead to a disease and to a disconnect. So going back, exactly like we said, the memories of the subconscious mind that are not fully processed and are fully understood. But I'm looking at a lot of
I just put the link. I put it directly on Facebook. I just put it in the comments. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Okay.
But I saw a question about how come I attract an abusive partner similar to my father.
Right.
And Liliana, God bless you. The subconscious mind. I want to explain something. The subconscious mind, its primary goal in the present moment is to protect you.
Right.
However, when you're between a particular age, and specifically conception to 7, everything that's going on in the environment that we're experiencing gets downloaded and imprinted and conditioned in the subconscious mind, because the brain waves that are running while we are between conception and 7 are called alpha and theta brainwaves, which means we're in a purely hypnotic state. That means we don't have a choice about what comes in, comes out. Love comes in, love comes in. Fear comes in, fear comes in. We get imprinted with everything. So here you are, you grow up in this environment, where your father's abusive, infinite love and gratitude to that. And you don't have tools to be the confident, powerful woman that you are today as a little girl. Your environment can't support you in a way that they don't know how. And that's where the subconscious mind, you know what it does, Liliana? It buries that subconscious pattern and it keeps it there until you have the tools, strategies, and consciousness to move through the situation. And what happens is that energy of that little girl that grew up in that abusive environment continues to attract people and circumstances that match that again and again, not to victimize you, not to cause suffering. This is your awakening. This is your awakening. And the Lifeline will help you in a very effective, quick, powerful way to shift this attractor field. You can level up your attractor field to, not only change how you feel emotionally, but change what you attract and what you broadcast. So thank you for saying that. Do you see where I posted that?
You posted just on top?
Yeah, I posted it on top.
Okay.
Wait, wait, 1 hour. Because I'm looking on your Facebook page, but I sent you the link in an email that you had sent me. I'd sent it to you.
What I'm going to do is after we end the live, I'm going to post on Facebook the link for everybody. And I'm going to make this very clear for everybody who wants to be part of the webinar on May 1st, Dr. Darren. Remember, this is a free webinar. You guys should definitely learn much more about the power of your mind and how to heal, because it's all about changing those deep, seated core beliefs, because it's everything, as saying, is in the mind, but we don't know how to work with the mind, unfortunately. So
it's a process.
We can control of that and take control of our emotions, take control of our subconscious, take control of our memories and process them. Then we free ourselves. It's like you delete all the files you don't need. And that's so significant. But Dr. Darren, you have all these techniques that you're using for 20 years in your practice.
Almost
and I
30.
want you to know about Lifeline Techniques. Tell us a little bit more about how I know people come to you. I know you have thousands of people who you've been helping from 24 countries from all over the globe, who've been using all your techniques. And that's why you're so known, and that's why you've been featured on all these movies and all these films and everywhere, because people need you more. Tell us a little bit about your practice.
Well, I feel very fortunate. I feel very blessed that my journey in healing myself in my own struggles, physically and emotionally, on so many deep levels, from struggling with addiction to having a horrific immune system, that as a result of my path, I discovered natural ways of healing. And in that, I got my doctorate in chiropractic and naturopathy and acupuncture and different forms of kinesiology and
everything.
programming. I just started studying. I went crazy on it. But the Lifeline Technique is a unique system that on one level is very simple, but like a snowflake is simple. It's H2O, but it's very intricate. And so it's very personal. And the Lifeline, we've done sessions with people in 80 countries around the world. I mean, we've worked with a lot of people. We've helped a ton of people create significant change. And the beauty of it is that people can begin to look at their bodies and to look at themselves rather than with judgment, rather than condemnation and negativity and I give up, white flag, to go, oh, my body's talking to me. Oh, I have a portal. I've got an opportunity to grow and heal and evolve.
Exactly it.
And it really is, and that's a very important beginning of the journey. But the nature of this process, it's like for someone who's never had an apple, and I'm like, oh, I love apples. They're like sweet and crunchy, and there's these green ones. It's like it's an original idea. It's a unique system that until you experience it, it's hard to really go like, oh, this is what it is. It's like many different things, but it's like nothing you've ever experienced.
Right.
But the beauty of it is that it's safe, it's quick, and it's effective in helping to create change on a subconscious level. And one of the things that frustrated me for a long time is I would hear what was possible when it comes to healing. I would hear what's possible when it comes to moving through trauma, but I didn't hear people say, how do you do it? I don't want to know what's possible. I want to know the how to. And that was the
how to, yeah.
That was the inertia of really awakening to this beautiful system that holds a space for the heart to open up like a flower and for us to feel again. Because when we can feel with love and compassion and acceptance and gratitude, the natural byproduct is healing and joy and attracting beautiful people like you and all these beautiful people that are listening. It's amazing.
So let me see what I did, because I think okay. I wanna let people know where they can get a hold of you if they want to work with you like one-on-one, or come to your center, or call you for having like a private consultation with you. How do they get a hold of you?
You know what? And this is, I'm glad you're asking, because if you go to my website, you'll also see the webinar as well. Literally, it's called thelifelineCenter.com. The Lifeline Center, CENTER.com. But here, before you book a session, don't book a session. Don't. Go to the free webinar. Learn about this. I'm going to teach you really amazing things with two of my favorite people, Dr. Mary and Sharon, and we're going to take a really deep dive into things that we're not talking about here, because there's a whole it's going to be a 90-minute webinar, and you're going to walk away and you're going to have a deep understanding.
I will be part of it. I will watch it. I will applaud you. This is brilliant. Few people, you only understand how significant it is for your well-being, and watch it with open eyes, and understand this is gonna change the way you think, the way you look at your life. And this is what we need. Information like this doesn't really exist there, you know what I mean, for free. This is for free, really. I mean, you're doing it just because you have an amazing, you give an hour and a half of your time, and even more, I think, to help people, shift their perception. It's all about the perception. It's all about the belief system. It's all about the awareness and understanding what can be done. Things they didn't know, things that are not taught in school, not in a medical school.
Not in school.
Go to medical school, you learn a lot. You don't learn this essential elements of your it's almost like, that's why you're a holistic doctor. You look at the body as a totality. You understand meridians of energy, you understand linguistic, you understand Ayurveda, you understand Chinese medicine, but the other doctors, the Western medicine limits, the way they treat the body. They don't operate on the cause, they operate on the effect, giving you forever addicted drugs. And that's why I'm such a firm believer that you do is so instrumental in creating real change, in helping you understand where is the core of your problem and how you can really heal without using drugs and poisonous medicine.
And you know what? And nothing against medicine in any way whatsoever, because it saves lives and at times. But at the same time, right now, there's 1 out of 10 Americans that are taking antidepressants. And the only reason that's happening is because they don't understand their mind. They don't understand the pattern of their thinking. They don't understand the power of their beliefs. And they don't know how to make access with their subconscious mind so that they can shift those thoughts, that perception, and therefore influence their biology to be what biology is designed to be. Everyone's designed to heal, regenerate, be whole. But the catastrophic thing is people don't know that the body is the reflection of the mind.
Yes.
So you can work on the body all day long, but if you don't make a change in the mind, it's not going to happen. You can work out.
And all your diseases, guy, are a reflection of the problem that exists in your subconscious mind. And all those memories that are stored have never been processed.
It's a balance.
There's a woman that keeps on writing here. Her comment, I should ask you if you can tell us, what do you know about this vaccine? Anything from a medical point of view, you as a doctor, what do you think is going on with the vaccination process?
Yeah, and it's a great question, and it's obviously a massively controversial thing. And I just feel that it's important that everyone get educated and make a conscious decision for yourself. There's so much that's not known. There's so much that's not known.
There's not enough data about this. Yeah.
And so, I have a hard time with that. And but I respect anyone and everyone with whatever choices that you make. But here's the thing. I've come to appreciate there's a consequence to everything that we do. There just is.
Yes.
And so people need to take responsibility for themselves. But here's what I found. If you're going to do a vaccination, I would encourage you to make sure that your body, your mind, your spirit is in harmony with it. And so people that ask me, they're like, Dr. Darren, what do you think about this? I give the same thing that I just said, but on the day that you get the vaccination, you get yourself harmonized to it. And I would go through a Lifeline process. And when you do, I find that when you work on an energy level, your body will use this, whatever chemical it is, to the highest vibration. And I truly do. I mean, people are talking about like, oh, here's messenger RNA and it's creating spike proteins and people are shedding and all kinds of things. Hey, there's a reality to it. There is a reality to it. However, to me, energy comes before matter and energy comes after matter. And this vaccine is a physical thing and you can influence how your body processes it. And I know that that's true.
Yeah. Mary says, thank you, doctor. I mean, people are getting the, the deep understanding what vaccination is something you need to be in agreement with. You don't go vaccinated because somebody told you to get vaccinated. You don't do it if you feel that you might react, because your subconscious mind, has something called intuitive mind. So a side of you will know whether it's a good idea or not. So trust that gut feeling that tells you, don't do it because you have a tendency towards blood clots or you have a serious compromised immune system. You have to think very well where you stand in the world right now with your health and with your mind, and if you're in agreement with the vaccination, and if you that's what your point is. So if you're not in harmony with this decision, you have to think 3 times before doing it.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on top of that, Dr. Carmen, because I really appreciate how eloquently you express yourself, that when we can make a decision where we're moving towards something versus avoiding something or attempting to make something go away, that makes all the difference. And I want to say that again. Love moves towards. Fear says, make it go away, avoid it, pretend it's not there.
Right.
So I know it's easier said than done, because when we're anxious, when we're scared, when we're panicky, when we're uncertain, when there's doubt, when there's driving agendas going on and you don't know who to trust, it's very difficult. There's no denial. I'm not naive about it. There's no denial. However, you know what? Go into your heart, you feel into yourself, and make a decision about where you're going. And if you can make a decision about where you're going versus what you're getting away from, at least you'll have a higher vibration. But if you're going to do it, I would encourage you, I would get a Lifeline session on the day that you have it, because you can harmonize your system to whatever frequencies or patterns that live in that injection.
I've seen exactly what you say. I've seen in my practice, people coming to me and say, oh, I really want this vaccine. I'm desperate. And they have it, no side effects, and they handle it because they were so desperate and they believe it. It's a belief, and they put their good intention into it. They were in perfect harmony, desperate to get it. They got it and it worked. And then I do have a lot of other people, they were doubtful about it. They were not sure, and consequently, a lot of side effects, and they did regret doing it. But you never know. You never know in time how the body will respond to it. But if you integrate this into your system in full consciousness and you're okay with that, then that's
Evolve.
it. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I mean, because this is a really good conversation right here, because it brings up a concept. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, what about 5G? And what about this? And what about that? To me, you know what? The world is changing and evolving, and we are interconnected in such an amazing, intimate way. We need to be able to move with these changes. We need to be able to embrace and process the emotions that get triggered in us. Our ability to move through these changes and process our emotions that are being triggered is what makes us more resilient. When people are not capable of moving through changes, of processing emotions, that's PTSD. That is from subtle to extreme levels. And that represents, once again, core limiting beliefs, memories that are in our subconscious mind that make it difficult for us or impossible for us to move through certain changes. So, like, what is going on in your life right now where you're struggling to move through changes? What's going on in your life where you're repeating patterns? That's your portal. That's your doorway to the next greatest version of yourself. In that is a whole new power and passion for yourself and your life. And you can create it. And I'm so excited to share this with you, and I hope it's valuable for those that are listening. But I'm really excited for the webinar coming up on Saturday.
Extremely. And everybody, you keep on asking me, and everybody's very grateful. Everybody's so excited, about the webinar, and I'll make sure that we will provide all the information for people to be able to subscribe. Even Pauline was asking me how she can subscribe. Now, I wish I can give you the link right now. For some reason, I'm not taking it. So, it's so good.
Are you able to copy it from your email? Are you able to copy it from your if I send it to your email right here, I'll just send it right here.
I think I'm going to have I don't know, send the text to my assistant, because he knows how to do all these technical things. And send it to me. And send it to me on my the text. I will send it to my assistant, and he will know how to put it in, so that you guys are be able to subscribe right away, because I know that you want to do it immediately. There are so many of you, Pauline, Ram, Mara, then who else? They all Mrs. Kamel telling me about Robin. That you want this link, so we'll provide you the link immediately. Also,
yes, I sent
one of our people is writing me, how can she heal from the wounds of the youth? As you know very well, all goes back to the childhood. But she's just, if you have any tips, how can she heal wounds of her youth?
Well, here the nature of the wounds of childhood that still influence us in our adult years represents something that I call toxic mind syndrome. And toxic mind syndrome is when we are driven by these patterns of thinking that are caught on autopilot. And it's called the Lifeline Technique. The Lifeline Technique will help you to bridge the gap to the parts of yourself that perpetuate the wounds that you continue to experience in your heart emotionally, but in your physical cells and in your behavior. The Lifeline Technique in and of itself helps us to transform these wounds that live in us. And you know what? All of us, I had plenty of wounds in my childhood. There's no doubt about it. We all are healing from something. Welcome to Planet 2021. We are all here, and I'm so grateful that we're here together and that we're loving and supportive. And that's why I just want to, once you know, and once you know, you got to share. And so I'm so excited to share with you and guide you to a whole different way than where you've struggled or where you've been stuck in certain emotional patterns or wounds. Because those emotional patterns and wounds, they're a conversation. And if you don't speak the language, then it's like, oh no, how do I find the bathroom? I don't speak the language. I got to get to the bathroom.
Right,
If you don't speak the language of your subconscious mind, then we get caught. And the Lifeline technique acts as an interpreter so that you can begin to understand, oh, this inflammation, this digestion, this hormonal imbalance, this represents a pattern at 7, a pattern at birth, a pattern from a past life, a generational pattern. There's no one thing for everyone. We live in a world that does cookie cutter, one pill for the same disease. You get 50 people with the same disease, and I work with them, none of them have the same experience. I still use the same system, but no one goes through the same Lifeline process. It's very personalized and individualized based upon the person that we're working with in any given moment.
So Alexandra Clark, I know her, beautiful, she's in Germany. She says, how can you heal from hate, from being bullied? It obviously, it did affect my heart. So being bullied, you know what I mean, when she was younger, it affected the emotional system, and how can you heal?
You know, and Alexandra, beautiful Alexandra Clegg, hey, infinite love and gratitude to your beautiful heart. And, you know, when we talked about the heart getting hijacked, and then it affects the brain, and then it affects the body, that's what happens. That bullying, that there's a part of you who is caught in this loop that perpetuates this pattern, and that affects your self-esteem and affects how you, you know, see yourself as worthy. And I'm telling you, you're amazing, and you're beautiful, and you're capable, and you're brilliant. And
she really is, yeah.
I know it. I feel it. And so here's the thing, Alexandra. This is where I truly believe that things happen for a reason, and that if you're here right now, obviously you could have been doing anything. So obviously you showed up because you've got, maybe there's a physical symptom, or maybe there's a wound, or maybe there's a memory, or maybe there's a relationship, or maybe there's a dream, and that a masterpiece that you want to create. Whatever it is, at the core of all of these is the subconscious mind. And when we can align it with our heart and learn how to be intentional using kinesiology with love. This means I love you in American Sign Language. Infinite gratitude. Means I love you. I love you, Carmen. I love you. Love and gratitude.
I love you.
You're so sweet. You know, we can begin to create change. And then the key is, a lot of people live in this illusion where, oh, I make the change and now I live happily ever after. Like you begin to make change, and then you don't stop. You continue to be able to make changes. You start to create a practice. You become who you've always been destined to become, which is a bright divine light in human form, enlightened in human form. That's who you were born to be. So yeah, it is. So Alexandra, big hugs to you, and I'm so grateful that you're here right now.
That's beautiful. But a lot you are writing to us back and saying that it's very easy to go on Dr. Darren's website and get the link there and be able to actually subscribe to the webinar. And then Pauline said, this is a webinar that we all should do, the whole planet.
You'll find the webinar at the bottom of the front page. So at the bottom of the front page, I wish it would, you know, websites have so much. Go to the bottom and you'll see events to expand your heart and mind, free webinar, evolve your mind, change your life. You've got to scroll down on the front page, on the home page of the website, and you'll find the link for the free webinar.
Yeah.
Very the healing circle is great. I'm gonna just go to that. Don't sign.
I will post this on YouTube. It's gonna be on Facebook. It's gonna be on 2 of my Facebook accounts. We have 200,000 people watching, so they will 200 people. We will all see the link. I want all of you to participate, because if there's something we need in the world, this is what we need right now. We need this teaching, Dr. Darren, from you.
Well, thank you.
So Miara says, I was able to subscribe. I can't wait. Pauline, perfect. This is what we all need. So everybody is like so excited about the knowledge, the work, you know, your expertise and everything in motion to help us, you know, break through this moment in our evolution, when more than ever we are like you know, affected by what's happening collectively with this virus. And I do hope that this goes away sometime soon. Do you think it's gonna go away in the next 2-3 months?
Remember, it's not about what we're looking to make go away or avoid. It's about where we're going. We choose to be the thermostat rather than the temperature. We're going to raise our consciousness. It isn't about a pathogen. It's not about a pathogen. It's not the germ theory. It's the love theory. There's a pattern that lives in our mind that affects our body. And I know that the body has the ability to heal anything it does. I know it. And I've experienced it.
But do you think that because we say, oh, everything is for a reason, do you think this happened because we collectively projected this? The planet created this?
I believe that on a collective subconscious level, this is the great point for humanity. You know, we're all one. Yes. Men, women, you know, every color skin, every religion, every race, every nationality, we're all one. And so we're crazy on this planet that we think in ways that are so mean to others, let alone to ourselves. And this is an awakening of compassion. This is an awakening of acceptance. This is an awakening of inner peace. And from the inner peace, which is so desperately needed, which only happens from a subconscious perspective, we can then open the door of world peace. But it won't happen because of a leader. It won't happen other than us learning to take responsibility of our own lives. And that means we need to understand our emotions. We need to understand our mind. We need to understand our body. We need to understand that this is a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual journey. It is. And what a blessing it is. What a blessing. But when we're in the fear and the anxiety, it's not a blessing. It's scary and horrible. And I understand that. And I have the deepest compassion because I've been there. But I'm telling you, I've gone through it. So I know how to lead you through it. And Dr. Mary and Sharon, they know it. They've been through it. I mean, we're going to go so deep on this webinar. I'm going to show you the whole schematic of the mindset's evolution and the process of how it happens, why it happens, and how to transform it. And then we're going to give you an opportunity to create real amazing change. You will have an opportunity. We're going to have some opportunities if you want to go deeper from this free webinar. And if it resonates with you, you'll see that. And that's why, you know what, don't sign up for things right now, because come to the webinar, be a part of it, because you're going to get something very special, I promise you.
And how amazing that this is a free webinar, guys. You should absolutely. I have Charlotte, who's actually, I think, Sweden, and she wrote, I remember my books, she always follows me, and she said that, thank you, Dr. Darren, for making it possible for us, even people from Europe, and we all in Europe, you know, the Scandinavian world, people from France, from Europe, from Romania, from different parts of Europe, they want to join, you know, they want to be part of this movement to create a movement. Somebody else writes, how can you improve your self-esteem? Is there something you want to tell her?
Well, you know, it's amazing because in all reality, and Liliana wrote that, in all reality, Liliana, you, as in everyone, were born with infinite value. You were born with infinite value. You are here to be celebrated. And the only reason that people struggle with self-esteem is because they're caught in past patterns and they're not perceiving themselves and remembering who we really are. That's an imprint. That's a condition. And, you know, I know we live in this world that likes to diagnose and label and say, oh, this is this, and this is the only thing that can be done for this. I'm sorry, that's not true. That's a lie. Everything is energy, and the energy of love is a universal healing frequency. So whether it be self-esteem, or whether it be wounds, or whether it be aspects of trauma and growing up in an environment that, you know, there was bullying going on, whether you've been diagnosed with cancer or autoimmune disease and all kinds of things, everything is a vibration. I'm not denying the diagnosis, but the prognosis of what people tell you is possible. It's very important to be aware of your own mind. And when you can get your mind on board with what your desire is, and then you can use Western medicine, you can use different kinds of diet and exercise and therapies. But the most important part is your 90 to 98% subconscious mind. Most people work on a conscious level. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But if you can get the subconscious on board, now you're really, you know, supporting yourself in the greatest potential way.
Yeah. And I'm looking at, it's amazing. I have Cornelia from Canada. How nice it will be that people will be like Dr. Darren, and everybody's going to be like you. You know, I mean, meaning thinking like you and acting like you and embracing, you know, life with so much love and so much gratitude. It's pretty amazing.
You know,
there's a lady says, good evening. I beg Dr. Darren to tell me how I can work on chronic insomnia. He has any suggestion about finding
pituitary adenoma. Yeah. So there's a pituitary adenoma and chronic insomnia. You know, I find, you know, the aspect of sleep, when people have a hard time going into REM stages of sleep, when you can't get into the deep stages of REM, it means that on some subconscious level you have trauma that has not been dealt with. Because the reason that we go through the rapid eye movement is to process short-term memory into long-term memory. But when there are parts of ourselves that are not able to process our emotions, when there are parts of ourselves that can't do that, then the REM stages are inhibited from occurring. And that in of itself influences sleep cycles and circadian rhythms in a really powerful way. So, you know, there's a trauma component with that for sure. But I want to say something. I mean, hey, I feel grateful that I can help people. I love helping people. It's my passion. It's my purpose. I don't want people to be like me. I want people to be like themselves. Inside of you is such a bright light. Who you are, exactly who you are, is amazing. And you were born to be you, not a carbon copy of someone else, but to be your authentic self. And if I can inspire and support you and give you wind beneath your wings so that you can be authentically in your skin and forgiving and compassionate to yourself, wow, then I did a good job, and I'll be really grateful to be able to do that. But we live in a world that, you know, we see a Vogue picture and we see a billboard, we see a commercial, we want to be like, be yourself, you know, let your freak flag fly, allow yourself to groove in your own way. It's really special. You know, Dr. Carmen, I mean, you inspire me so much. Your authenticity of being inspires people to let go of all the rules and control you live by. It's like, oh, the freedom to be yourself is such a liberation.
I have one last question. Erica, I know she's from Ecuador, and she said she's battling with a lot of insanity. It's like she said, she had all kinds of bad and sad experiences, so she wants to forgive all the bad experiences. So I think she's kind of battling a little bit of depression. So do you have any specific technique for her to overcome depression?
You know, Erica, I just want to tap into you right now because I'm reading I'm reading what you wrote. I'm battling with my past too. Is very consuming, is insanity. It's hard to forgive, and it's hard to forget all the bad and sad experiences. You know, I'm using muscle testing right now with you, beautiful one, and I'm finding conception of 10, conception of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 9-year-old little girl. So the part of you who is not able to forgive and forget is not you, but she's 9. And that 9-year young part of you, when that part of you gets triggered, it affects your first, second, third, fourth, but it affects your power center in your throat. So the part of you who speaks her truth and says yes and no with love, the 9-year-old can't do that. Fire, earth, metal, water, wood, and it affects you in Chinese, it affects your liver and your gallbladder, affects what's called your wood element, but it's causing you 1 through 10, 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3. It's interesting. It's causing you to go into a pattern of push beyond limits and depression. So I want to explain something, Erica. When you were 9, you were in an environment of push beyond limits and depression. That's the way people thought. That's the way people felt. That's the way people spoke. When you were 9, you didn't have the ability to go, you know what? All you people that are just going through so much trauma and drama, I need to call up on Dr. Carmen and Dr. Darren. I need to get on a Facebook Live so I can get myself in my light and my love and my power. I need to get connected. We weren't doing that at 9, right? So at 9, you didn't have tools. you didn't have support like you do now. And so at 9, you were given a gift of protection. Your subconscious mind protected you. But now the subconscious isn't protecting you to survive. The subconscious mind is in a survival mode. You know why? To wake you up. And right now you're being awoken to what? Self-love. And this is your journey. You take your hand with love, just like this. You put it over your heart. Take a deep breath with me, Erica. Say this: infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude to that beautiful 9-year young part of you. Infinite love and gratitude to the depression, to the push beyond limits. Infinite love and gratitude. Good job,
wow.
sweet. Good job.
So powerful.
It is so powerful, and that's a sliver. But I just wanted to create momentum and energy for you, Erica, and everyone's listening. You're also a part of this. But when we do Lifeline sessions, it's 90 minutes of going deep. About going deep. It's about creating beautiful, life-affirming, positive change. So you're going to learn about it on Saturday. I hope you're able to join myself and Dr. Mary and Sharon. It's going to be fun. And, you know, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to share this. And Carmen, for you and your bright light, you're such a beautiful goddess in the world. You have so
you are. I'm just honored to have you. People are thanking me for you, that I gave them the opportunity, and that you are taking so much of your time to connect with all of us here. And people, go on May 1st. It's going to be 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific. And Dr. Darren is giving you this free webinar. And you're going to learn so much, and you're going to heal yourself, and you're going to change your limited beliefs, and you're going to create the life that you need, the thriving life. And so, guys, don't miss the opportunity. I'm the first one to subscribe right away. Dr. Darren, I love you. You, my beautiful angel.
Love you.
I'm your biggest fan. And
I'm your
I am
biggest
grateful
fan.
again and again and forever what you did for everybody on Facebook today, and through all your amazing work for 25 years, forever since I know you. You've been a missionary of united, humanity, and creating, opening the collective consciousness to a better vibration, to a higher level of perception, healing. And it's all what we need right now is healing.
One person at a time, right? One person. Everyone matters. Everyone matters.
Everyone is
everyone
the same.
matters.
In the same boat. That's what this virus was. We all in the same boat. There's no such things like rich or poor, black or white or yellow. No, it doesn't matter. We experience the same life lesson, you know. Yeah. And it's all how you respond. It's all how you love and heal and unconditionally give yourself to the world and serve other people. It's all about that.
Yeah, we're way more powerful. We're way more capable than we ever have been told or ever really realized. And you know, what a beautiful opportunity to be on this journey together.
Exactly. So we should be grateful, like you said. Gratitude, love is all about that. We thank you, Dr. Darren, for almost an hour and a half of broadcasting with us on live on Facebook. I'm gonna promise you to share all the links and information from Dr. Darren. I will be watching and listening and learning from you on May 1st. 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern Time. A free webinar with no one else than Dr. Darren Weissman. We are grateful. We love you. Thank you.
Infinite love and gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. May 1st. Don't forget. Love you, Dr. Darren.
Love you too, Carmen. Bye.
Love you.